Let me first of all, Mark, share with you sort of the nature of the problem, because I think a lot of folks understand that it's a problem, but aren't sure how it came about. In 2000, at the end of the Clinton administration, we not only had a balanced budget, but we actually had a surplus. And that was in part because of some tough decisions that had been made by President Clinton, Republican Congresses, Democratic Congresses, and President George H.W. Bush. And what they had said was, let's make sure that we're spending wisely on the things that matter, let's spend less on things that don't matter, and let's make sure that we're living within our means, that we're taking in enough revenue to pay for some of these basic obligations. What happened then was we went through 10 years where we forgot what had created the surplus in the first place. So we had a massive tax cut that wasn't offset by cuts in spending. We had two wars that weren't paid for, and this was the first time in history where we had gone to war and not asked for additional sacrifice from American citizens. We had a huge prescription drug plan that wasn't paid for. And so by the time I started office, we already had about $1 trillion annual deficit, and we had massive accumulated debt with interest payments to boot. Then you have this huge recession. And so what happens is less revenues coming in because company sales are lower, individuals are making less money. At the same time, there's more need out there. So we're having to help states and we're having to help local governments. And that, a lot of what the recovery was about was us making sure that the economy didn't tilt over into a depression by making sure that teachers weren't laid off and firefighters weren't laid off and there was still construction for roads and so forth. All of which was expensive. I mean, that added about another $1 trillion worth of debt. So now what we've got is a situation, not only do we have this accumulated debt, but the baby boomers are just now starting to retire. And what's scary is not only that the baby boomers are retiring at a greater rate, which means they're making greater demands on Social Security, but primarily Medicare and Medicaid, but health care costs go up a lot faster than inflation, and older populations use more health care costs. You put that all together, and we have an unsustainable situation.